This week, our 7 little videos together are going to be about arguably the second most important figure in the Bible. Certainly, perhaps the most important figure in the Hebrew Bible, or what some of us call the Old Testament, and that is Moses. I'm going to be preaching about Moses today, and Moses is the central figure in the books of the Torah from Exodus all the way through to Deuteronomy. It's really probably impossible to overstate his importance for the Israelites and their people, their history. So each day this week, we're going to touch on a little aspect of Moses' life. And today we start at the beginning, and you can turn in your own Bible to Exodus chapter 2, verses 1 through 10, where we're introduced to Moses through his birth. And our verse for the day is verse 10. After he's been born, it says, "When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and she took him as her son. She named him Moses because she said, 'I drew him up out of the water.'" If you listen to my sermon today, you're going to hear me talk about the fact that Moses is born to a Levite couple when the Israelites were an enslaved people working in Egypt, and at a time when Pharaoh basically thought they were becoming too numerous, and so the boy baby should have been put to death. And rather than doing that, his mother put him in a watertight container, a basket, put him on the Nile River, and told his sister to go watch what happened to him. And as soon as Pharaoh's daughter pulled him out of the river and saw that it was a child, his sister steps forth basically and says, "Shall I go get you a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" And so Moses is actually nursed and nurtured initially by his birth mother, which I'm sure was a blessing for her and obviously for him too. But what a heartache it must have been for her to have to give up her son, given the situation at the time, and that he was raised instead by Pharaoh's daughter. And so here is the humble beginning, if you will, of the man who's going to become the leader in Egypt when he grows up. And it's a reminder to us, there are so many children born in, shall we say, less than ideal circumstances or very difficult or trying circumstances. You think of people who are refugees. You think of women giving birth in Ukraine when there's Russian rockets coming in and hitting even hospitals. And one of the things the story of Moses, his birth and his beginning reminds us is that even from very, very humble origins, God can raise up very significant people. And so we should look very carefully and very humbly and with love and with nurture towards every child who's born, because every single life is precious, and you never know who a baby will grow up to be.